I'm Jim Hood. I'm with Fathom Realty, and I have two other really good local experts and also an agent, real estate agent from Lexington. Hi, Willa.
Hello.
Hello. She's also with Fathom and joining us this evening. But what we're going to do is just a real quick, just a few minutes, and just questions that we've had folks ask us, clients have asked us, in dealing with these facets of what we're doing. Oasis, which Catherine is with, is uh, is the genie, I guess you could say, in matchmaking and helping seniors find the right senior community to look into and join, because there's just a lot of different facets to it. And then Gina is with us with Caring Transitions, eastern part of Cincinnati, but services a wide area as well. And there's one thing about life is we collect things. And when it comes time in life to go from this down to this, it can be a challenge. There's a lot of memories, there's a lot of emotional connections, and then getting relocated to wherever they're moving to. There's a lot of moving pieces in that, and Gina is the guru with that. Catherine, question that I had for you is, out of the many, 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 many growing number of senior communities, what ways are you able to really help folks focus down to find those two or three that they really want to look at and ask questions about?
I think the two biggest drivers, Jim, are what do they need as far as care levels? Do they need support with what they call their activities of daily living? And if they need support in that, how much? People are waiting probably later than they used to enter into senior living. So, what does that mean? What do they need, and can that community meet those needs? The other biggest driver is probably finances. What is the budget? What can they afford? And what is the long-term prospect on that? How long would they anticipate being in senior living? And what kind of assets do they have? How can they best fund that? So those are probably the two biggest things that we look at. There's other factors, obviously, but those are the biggies.
I imagine the choices are amazingly large. I mean, it seems like every other week there's a new retirement community that is being built. Um,
Mhm.
are is a census or population at these locations, are they generally already full, or are you seeing that a lot of places have room for people to move in short notice?
Think the newer communities are still trying to fill their rooms. I just visited one today that's about a year old, and they're about 50% capacity, and that's kind of normal. The established ones that have been here for years, they are often full or limited numbers of rooms. That's why one reason why it's really good to plan ahead before you're in a crisis situation. We always encourage people to have that plan B in place. So when you need it, if you need it, and when you need it, you already know uh, what direction you would want to go. Um, that's helpful. Yes, there's a lot of choices, but they're all very different, and they offer different things, and they don't suit everyone. There's lots of determining factors that can help you know if it's a fit or not, and we help people through each step of that.
Doesn't sound like it's an easy process.
No, it's actually pretty complicated. People that try to make it easy usually don't land well. So it takes a lot of thought, a lot of effort to make a truly educated decision and to find the place that's really going to be a good fit for you.
Very good. And then, Gina, just as a little caveat here, I, as a real estate agent, have just recently sent a couple to Gina to work with, dealing with the wife's parents' home and all of the personal possessions that are there, and getting it ready. And I'll be putting it on the market when the timing gets right for it. But Gina's been having fun working with them and helping them understand the process. And from what I understand, Gina, it's more than just one option that is there in dealing with estate matters.
It is. There are many options. Just when it comes to liquidating in general, it's, the first question anyone asks is, how much is my stuff worth? How much is my furniture worth? And the answer is really what the market will bear. And the marketplace has changed quite a bit. So right now, this current market is predominantly shopping at IKEA and Target and Wayfair. They are doing tailgates and fire pits, so they're not doing formal entertaining. So what that interprets as is they are not looking for big chunky wood furniture. They are not looking for fine china and crystal. They are really, and in many ways, it's a healthy perspective to not collect as much. And who knows, the pendulum may swing back, and then all of a sudden,
Oh yeah.
the antiques will resurface again as the darlings of the market. But right now, as furniture goes, it happens to be mid-century modern who is the darling, the sweetheart of the industry. But at least for now.
Yeah, I've got several wide
So yes, there
that
are
I've
many
got in my closet. I'm waiting to come back into style.
Right. We can all wait and hope. But yes, so the answer to your question is there are options, there are private buyers, there are a lot of online auctions. And if COVID taught us one thing, and we know it taught us many, it got people very comfortable with buying things online. And it is a great way to get a national audience and competitive bidding to get the best out of the market. Then there's in-home estate sales, which actually are on the decline. And when you think about it, it's very invasive. It's a lot of foot traffic. You're limited in geography. You're limited by a timeline as to whether or not you're available to actually physically go. But there are some times when that's appropriate. And then there are private buyer options. And then sometimes, maybe the family has taken the things that really have the real value, and you're down to donating and discarding. So in spite of what we all know we paid for our things, it's, the resale market is a bit fickle.
Definitely. I sort of got a jolly off of the auction site. And if you're watching this online, go to caringtransitions.com, and there's a link there. You can get into the auction site, and there's auctions going on all the time. But
yeah, it's ctbids.com if you want to take the shortcut.
ctbids, thank you.
Which is right here.
There you go. You have that same problem. I go, I need to point to it. It's on my right side.
Right.
But
right.
I got the biggest laugh out of it, Gina. Was looking, there was a thing with kitchen appliances, and I saw the food processor that we have that actually I bought from Elle a number of years ago, and the label for the collection of kitchen appliances was vintage kitchen appliances. I thought, it isn't that old, but it works really great anyway. Yeah, check out their sites and what's going on.
It's shocking that we are among the vintage.
Yeah, not talking about that. Maybe we should be paying attention to our own recording here. But anyway, that's what my son told me. He was going to sign me up. Did either of you have questions?
Or
I don't know.
each other? Or
each other? The slate is open. Or Willa, you can even ask a question if you like.
Jim, tell us about the real estate market. What is the inventory like this March or this spring compared to last year? Tell us more about the housing market.
It's changing, but it isn't Chicken Little. The sky is not falling. News media likes to sell negative things because it gets some better ratings. But bottom line is in greater Cincinnati, February of 2023 in contrast to February of 2022. There were about 900 closings in February of 2022 and a little over 600 closings in February of 23. So there was about a third of closings that disappeared between the 2 years. Does that mean that everything's terrible, doom and gloom? No, it doesn't. There are fewer houses to choose between. Yes, there are some buyers that are off of the market because of the interest rates, but there are still plenty of buyers on. And what really told the story behind that is that the sale price in 2022 to 2023 for February, comparing February to February, gained $27,000 in the average sale price between the 2 years. So sale price was up in 23 in greater Cincinnati. Market is still there. Demand is still there. Homes are selling, but buyers are a little bit pickier than they were before. Multiple bids, yes, multiple offers. However, not nearly as many as before. And buyers are just a little bit more savvy and cautious about things. So, but a good question.
Is it still the trend, Jim, that people are paying well over the asking price and skipping having the, not assessments, what do you call them?
Inspections.
Inspections done and all of that? How is that?
Inspections.
That makes me want to run and hide anytime someone says, oh, I'm just going to skip the inspections. That's a whole nother story. Where we were in the height of the pandemic, when there was just blood on the ground out in front of houses from buyers fighting to get into the house. You know, like for example, I had clients bidding on a $250,000 house at that time that they bid $50,000 over the asking price and they still lost. You don't see that today. On average, we're seeing real close to 100% of asking price. But again, February of 2022, it was 100.7% of asking price. In other words, it sold a little bit above. This year, it's about 97.5% of asking price. So, you know, sellers are still getting the majority of what they're asking for, but it isn't the big escalation in price that it was. So, good question. You know, when it comes to estates, and this is what for me got me involved with this group, is I was coming into more and more individuals, baby boomers, that had older folks. And every once in a while, it's the older folks that are needing assistance. And what I want to make reference to is what Catherine was saying, is to plan ahead. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. School is, you know, it's going to wear. It's going to be wear and tear on it. And just to be aware of that and have plans in place. We have, and his name is back here behind the clock, Sean Gupta, you know, talks about estate planning as far as, you know, whether to get a trust in place and things to that extent. And we're going to be having more information from him, but, you know in advance what it is that you as someone going into their senior years wants to do before that time comes. And not only financially, but location and things to that extent. It's going to make a huge difference for your family and for your own peace of mind. So it's a big thing to raise up the flagpole and really to encourage, take a serious look at that. So, all right. I said I wanted to keep this to a few minutes. So, but I appreciate you all being here. Willa, you got my heart, lady. You were writing notes down. Good job.
Yes, I wrote down a lot. Okay.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all. And
Thank
have
you,
a
Jim.
very good evening.